Throwers are still one of the strongest ground troops in the game, and when paired with the ZapQuake and Jetpack, it can be unstoppable. So let's break down how you can use this army to 3-star any base, no matter your town hall level. First things first, let's focus on the equipment for each hero, starting with the Grand Warden, where I recommend his double gem combo. This utilizes the Rage Gem's passive DPS boost for the throwers, while passively boosting the healer's healing output. Additionally, the life gem buffs both throwers and healers' HP, allowing both to stay alive longer, especially healers against under-leveled Seeking Air Mines. While you don't have any support for the Warden himself, having spells is handy to keep him alive as they work around the base. As for the Dragon Duke, having his Jetpack Flameblower combo is just as good. Despite the change with the Flameblower in the June update, it's still possible to position it well, but takes slightly more brain power to do so. And so long as you use one Quake with it, you can clear many defenses and buildings off the base. Additionally, you can use one of the new Angry spells to help position the Flameblower in some cases where you can line up defenses. With the Barbarian King, I recommend his Stick Horse and Giant Gauntlet. This combo is very powerful when used correctly towards the back end of the base, especially as he has a faster movement and attack speed while hopping walls, and is granted splash damage and a damage reduction with the Giant Gauntlet. This is made easier with the Angry Jelly to force him towards defenses, allowing for greater control and value for the throwers later in the attack. Finally, we have the Archer Queen, where I recommend her action figure and magic mirror. This is often the best option for funneling your throwers into the base, with 3 total queens dealing damage, along with the Giant providing protection for them. However, if you lack at least the magic mirror, using the Giant Arrow instead can be a solid choice, as it can still help in funneling while having the Giant to protect your queen. So to start the attack, we're using the Dragon Duke and ZapQuake first. You need to keep in mind that the rocket backpack goes through the center of the base, so angling your Duke towards the center will allow your Flameblower to get enough value. Oftentimes, you're looking for value to remove with one Quake with the Flameblower, such as the Revenge Tower or Monolith as examples. You can additionally use the Angry spell to line up your Duke when necessary, as it forces him to target defenses without having the Angry Jelly equipped. Just be sure to be quick about when you use it and avoid as many distraction troops or heroes as possible. As the Duke flies across the base, be sure to also consider what defenses it will cross through, as these defenses, once hit by the Jetpack, will be weak enough to remove with 3 lightning and 2 quakes, making defenses like Scattershots, Fire Spitters, and the Lava Launcher good targets to remove with the ZapQuake. With a clear funnel set though, you can finally use the throwers. Thanks to their long 6-tile range, they can clear threats quite quickly and easily, but breaking them into the base can enable them to reach more. Just be sure to have the Warden and healers providing support, while the Ice Golems are used to slow down and freeze defenses. During this time, you can cut off the funnel with the Archer Queen and her ability to control the throwers into the base. As for the Siege Machine, the Log Launcher is often very good to open walls unless you are going into the base from the Town Hall side, in which it can be less reliable but not impossible to use the Log Launcher. It's often better to use the Troop Launcher if you're attacking towards the Town Hall though. Other than this, you want to use your Freeze and Tome spells to provide enough coverage for the throwers as they work through the base. These will help minimize a lot of damage from different sources and making it more reliable to keep both your Warden and throwers alive. You also have an Overgrowth spell to use specifically to control the pathing of your throwers while reducing the amount of damage on the base, allowing for you to clear other defenses around the overgrown spot more comfortably. Finally, this leaves the King, as we're using him like a back-end Royal Champion but much tankier, with the Stick Horse used to hop over walls, especially when paired with the Angry Jelly. This also allows us to use the Giant Gauntlet to secure better value while reducing incoming damage by quite a bit, making it very reliable for certain defenses on the back end and can help control your throwers to 3-star more comfortably. So, now that you have a good idea of the army, here is the army comp I recommend for Town Hall 16 to Town Hall 18 players. This should be a very strong option for many players so long as you can get some decent levels on your equipment. However, let's focus now on a full example to help you 3-star bases easily. So for this attack, we want to start off with the jetpack and the flameblower. In this case, you'll notice that we are not using the angry spell for the Dragon Duke, since we can very easily control him to where we want to go. This allows us to use our earthquake spell and the flameblower rocket backpack in order to clear through. We're then going to use our ZapQuake so we can remove the fire spitter alongside another rage spell tower and the expo. This allows him to kind of do his own thing, so we can send the throwers right the way into the base, where we can break them in and have the Grand Warden providing support. This gives us a large amount of value just immediately as we kind of move around. We can then break our Archer Queen in while using her magic mirror and action figure to at least control the throwers towards the core of the base. This is why we are also using a druid to keep a lot of the queens and the giant alive, while also using the log launcher from that spot. Since even though we are going into the town hall, it is able to open walls from that angle, and it does make it a lot more reliable with throwers. Otherwise, we just want to continue to spread out the use of our spells, namely the totem and freeze spells. This will allow us to protect a lot of things, where we can also use an overgrowth to minimize damage on some of the back end defenses while using the Barbarian King with his giant gauntlet and the stick horse. This allows him to focus on defenses and do splash damage while being able to clear many different compartments all by himself. Just make sure though that you could possibly use that angry spell with the throwers, as this will allow them to start focusing on defenses and make it much easier to actually speed up your attack. This should really only happen though if you do not need the angry spell for the Dragon Duke, and is otherwise can be used for other parts of the attack, like the throwers in this case. Otherwise, so long as you're able to keep many of your throwers alive, and especially the Grand Warden, you should be able to 3-star more often than not, so long as you have gotten rid of a lot of the key threats off the map. With how strong throwers are still, it's a no-brainer to use them currently, especially with how good the rocket backpack and ZapQuake are when used together. If you want to see where all the equipment rank from worst to best, consider checking out this video right here, but YouTube says you may prefer this one instead.